Hey and welcome to NUFC Talk. You're here with me, Glenn, and as ever, my good friend Jan. How are you doing, pal?
I am very well, very good.
Well, I know we're off the back of 5-0 defeat, but it could be worse, mate. We could support Man United.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Not to jump on and start the pod on Man United, but should we start the pod on Man United? Like, oh my god.
Just to make us feel better.
Yeah, just to make us feel better before we dissect our 5-0 hammering City. The other side of Manchester is literally on fire.
Yeah,
and you've got Ronaldo trying to put the fire out with a bucket with holes in it.
Yeah, they are. They're awful.
But we won't go on Man United. No. There we go. That's the little.
That's a positive.
That's a positive. Anyway, if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you're back on that subscribe button here on YouTube. You can catch us on Twitter if you want to get us on TikTok. The handles are NUFC Talk Pod, or if you want to come and see us directly on Twitter, you can get us Glenn NUFC or Glenn_NUFC.
Yanis NUFC, and also on YouTube, click the little bell, notification bell, let you know when a new video pops up. So you don't miss a video.
Yeah, and please drop us a comment, let us know what you think of the channel so far. So the big team news, mate. We'll get straight into the team news for Man City. Was we had Wilson back, we had Trippier coming back to the bench.
Yeah.
I know we're coming to the back end of the season, but still we're a bit light in midfield because Shelvey and Willock ruled out for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Do you see some fans having a dig at Shelvey for being in Disneyland?
Yeah, what do you make of that?
Family man, he's got kids and that. At some point, you've got to be a person as well as a football player. Like, I have no issue with that, like, really.
Me neither. I don't have any issues. I just saw some people getting stuck in saying, "Look at Trippier. He's was going to games when he had his boot on his foot and all this." But it was very different then. Like we were still trying to get a relegation. And...
Yeah, it was like galvanised him. He was obviously a really important part of the squad in terms of sort of a new voice and a new leadership voice in the group. I have no issue with he's not jet setting like one of these hopped over to Disneyland, and I have no issue with it, me personally.
Mm.
I can see why some people would, but he is injured.
Yeah,
can't play, so why not take his kids?
Would be pretty mad though if you're watching the.
I mean, he's got kids at home.
Yeah.
If he's just on Disney on his own, then I've got huge issues with that.
Yeah, can you imagine just being in Disneyland, sitting down and watch like the Newcastle game, because that's obviously what you go to Disneyland to, and turn on like Shelby's sat at the bar with you as well.
Yeah, because there's somebody got a photo, didn't he?
Yeah. So that's how it came around. Someone took a selfie of Shelby.
Aye. You must have known that was coming out as soon as that selfie's like, let's catch up the bag then.
Yeah. So Newcastle started off with obviously Dubravka.
Yeah.
And we had a back four of Kraft. We had Lascelles because Shah only made the bench.
Yeah.
Big Dan Burn.
BDB.
Target. In the middle we had Joe Linton, Longstaff, and Bruno. And then up top, Miggy, Wood, and ASM.
Yeah.
Any changes you would have made there?
I think it's all force pretty much. I mean, you wouldn't have started Longstaff, you wouldn't have started Lascelles, you wouldn't have started Wood, you wouldn't have started Kraft if 3 or 4
Everyone's
starting
fit,
players. Yeah, everyone's fit. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty much that's the best you can muster at the minute. It just shows, just like even I know we've had reinforcements. It just shows you how light our squad really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we'll get into that, but yeah, the midfield was so light. Because I even texted you before the game, and the chat we have, like we had no midfield on the bench. All our defence, all the bench. We had obviously keeper, we had full backs, we had centre halves, we had a couple of wingers, we had centre forward, but it was literally we had no midfield players on the bench, which is pretty nuts considering you can have like 27 subs at the moment on the bench, and which didn't have one to put on.
Yeah. It just shows like how thin of a squad we still. I mean, even more it shows just a lack of investment for previous years. Like
back in the Steve Bruce days, we'd had like 3 keepers on the bench.
I mean, it's mad. It's mad. I think that we've even been a consistent, other than 2 relegations, Premier League club with like the lack of investment because the squad is just still paper thin.
Yeah. So before the game, there was a lot of fans starting to get a little bit confident, weren't they? Saying we could be a banana skin here. City have got
Let's be honest, they shat it in midweek.
Yeah, like,
I mean, I could not believe that. By the way,
that was horrendous because we actually recorded last week's episode,
yeah,
the night of the Champions League.
Rewound it was like
Finished it, yeah. Went inside and we just missed the game finishing. We wound it and watched that madness of 5 minutes, and yeah, there was going to be two things: that Man City were going to come out feeling sorry for themselves, or they were going to come out and say, right, whoever we're playing on this weekend's in for it. And unfortunately, Newcastle were the team which had to square up to them. So they came in with Edison, Zinchenko, Laporte, Diaz, Cancelo, Rodri, KDB, Gundogan, Sterling, Jesus, and Jack Grealish.
it's class, like, isn't it? And it's not even the best side. They've got like 2 or 3 players you probably switch out. And
Yeah, Bernardo Silva wasn't there. Mahrez, who's got like 22 for the season, wasn't.
you probably see Mahrez up, Sterling one side, Grealish
Yeah,
dropped.
this young kid on the bench called Foden as well.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's
an embarrassment of riches they've got. Like,
so when the game kicked off, like loads of my notes were like from the first 15 minutes when it was still 0-0 because it was backwards and forwards, and one of the stats that came out, Newcastle had better possession at one point.
it was like 50 odd or something % possession, like in the first like 15 minutes. I couldn't believe that. That was and it seemed like Eddie Howe's tactic was like, these might not be right up for this. Let's go test them out. Let's get after them first 10, 15 minutes. If we nick something, we're in the game. And it did. It looked like first 10, 15 minutes, we looked like we were bang at it.
Yeah, because in the second minute, we had a break where Miggy had the chance, and I just thought, did he not have the confidence to take it by himself? Was it a lack of ability?
Was that when he turned round?
Yeah.
And out, he turned back out onto his left foot.
And like my note is Miggy break 2 minutes, confidence, ability, question mark. Then the ball was back in our own half.
Yeah,
Like, that was our chance to break and have an attempt at goal. And like 10 seconds later, 20 seconds later, we'd passed the ball back to our own half. Is that Miggy not having the confidence, or is that just Man City were good defending? But then I thought, no, if you took your attempt then, it doesn't matter how good you are at defending, the defence wasn't there. But when he turned back on himself, like
he's not got a right foot at all. Like, he's one of the most one-footed players I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
He really has not got a right foot. So I don't know if it's the same point you're talking about, but there was certainly a point where when he was running from the right hand side, and he turned out back on his left. Yeah. He's whipping across, just driving across the box, whatever. But he's got no right foot whatsoever. So I've been a Mickey fan. He's hard working. I wanted him in the team when Bruce didn't play him a lot, but I think he's like when you've had Fraser playing well and producing assists and goals and just early balls, direct, 2 decent feet, because Fraser's got two good feet, and versus Miggy, who's so one-footed, and he's kind of really one-dimensional as a player. Miggy,
Jingy's goal against Palace kind of just papered over the cracks of him as a player for a little bit, because we talked about he hadn't done anything for 37 games, then he went and scored that screamer in the top bin. So he did really well for that goal, but
he had another shot in that game. It was, he played well in that game. He was involved in that. Was it the Wolves game? The Palace game was involved in a little intricate pass where someone was Wood was offside. That was the Wolves game, wasn't it? Yeah, when he was involved in that.
He put Bruno through, didn't he, with the little
drag back?
Yeah.
So he's got
moments. He's just not consistent enough, which is not good enough for the Premier League.
No, he absolutely 100% needs to be replaced. But yeah, I think that was so disappointing. Like, you just swing your peg at it, man. Just swing at your rusty gate. No one cares. Like, I'd much rather see that. I mean, everyone would care, because it'd be like, why do you swing your? Just kick the ball, man. but like, in actual
just put it in the net. But I tell you, even a better chance came a few minutes later, which hasn't been mentioned much by Newcastle fans, is Chris Wood's header.
Yeah.
7th minute.
Yeah.
Is that not what he was brought into this team for, was to score them goals?
I know.
Hold the ball up, bring other players in, and if you put the ball on the cross, he'll score goals with his head. Which, he got one against Southampton. But this was...
Yeah.
Was he shocked he got the chance, or... I don't know.
I don't know, but I think it's time we start to see it. I've been let down by Wood in terms of a transfer. I think he did a job in the first 5 games defending him, because he was holding the ball up better. His other play seems to. I know City don't give you much of an opportunity, but I think I think I've been disappointed overall. I thought he was going to bring more than he has done. In fact, I genuinely thought it was going to be a really good signing.
I think that's why for the last couple of games he's tried something where he's tried Joe Linton playing up top, then he tried Maximin as like a false nine. Like, do you think he's?
I think initially it was a rest for Wood because obviously he played basically every minute.
Yeah.
And was it the Norwich game?
Norwich we got rested, and then whoever we played after that as well, he didn't start as well. Where
Leicester maybe?
No, it's yeah. Been full pods in it, but yeah, there was 2 games where he's completely rested, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think
Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool may be a tactical thing because people want to pace them behind the high line, maybe. But we'll get on to it later on. But that little 1-2 Callum Wilson plays getting behind for his chance. Wood is not getting anywhere near making that chance. So I just think, I think overall, if you look at him as a signing, I think he's probably been disappointing, really.
I think overall, yeah, you've got to look at him. He did a job when he came in for January, February, and give us a focal point for us to get the ball up to someone, which give us something different to play at because we weren't good enough at hitting space.
Yeah.
So he's definitely done a job. Was he worth 25 million? Probably yes, because he's helped us survive, which we do need. As much as he hasn't got the goals, he's helped a part of the rest of the team come into play. Like there was that stat which I sent over to you before the game where he was most for flick-ons and headers, and was it duels and stuff?
Won, yeah.
So between him playing for Newcastle and Burnley, Chris Wood has actually won more headers and flick-ons than anyone else in the Premier League.
Yeah, that's a bizarre stat.
It shows you he has a job.
I feel like he's not won that much in the last 4 or 5 games in Newcastle. I think he's really sort of tailed off.
We didn't start for 2 of them. That's why.
Come on, what are you doing? Sat on the bench.
Yeah, sat on the bench. Well, that should have been you.
Got to get the end of those, mate. But I don't know. Yeah, he's a limited football player clearly, and we bought him for a reason. One thing was we were desperate for a striker, and we were
weak in Burnley.
In Burnley, aye. But yeah, all in all, probably been a little disappointed. I think he's tailed off a little bit. The one thing I think I do find disappointing is the headed chances. Other than the Southampton one, there's been a few more when he's mistimed his jump, or he hasn't quite got or he should have gone back across the keeper when he should have just. So I just think that he's that
one against Man City, especially against Man City.
When you get
you're not going to get many chances against City. That Miggy on the break, he's got to get there with that header. That's a direct shot on target.
And if that goes in, then Eddie Howe's game plan of getting after them, putting a bit of pressure on them, sunning them, they're not going to be rattled, City. But you might be able to hang on to something. You might be able to nick something from the game if you can, because they have just been bombed out of the Champions League in the most ridiculous way.
Completely, and that was probably part of the game plan. I think everyone could see, it was get at them, see if we can nick a goal, and that was probably the chance we thought, man.
Yeah. And then I think after that, the first goal they score is just absolute class.
Yeah.
The Rodri pass, the way the Rodri pass is brilliant. I know people are saying ASM switches off, but I'm not going to. He's back in there. He's just tracking the Marauding fullback all the way to there. It's never going to be his game. It's never going to be any winger's game. I mean, Salah. If people go about Salah and Mane work hard off the ball, they're getting done with that pass. There's no winger that's going back with them. Mm-hmm. The way to pass is exceptional. Cancelo's vision, just knowing where Sterling is, and the fact Sterling peels off into the space of the back stick for the header across is just class.
Sterling, his scoring stats are incredible, and it just shows you what good coaching can do.
Yeah.
Because remember, I think you mentioned it on a pod before. Still might be in our full Premier League one that we do. Sterling was that tricky winger which almost tried to do the extra turn, pissed off fans too much, had the moment of brilliance. He's almost I'm not comparing him, but like a Maxi where he has the talent.
Yeah.
He just has this moment of madness which seems to be happening more and more, and he's desperate to score, and he's trying to shoot from too far. Whereas with the right coach and the right team, Maxi could be that fast winger where he arrives at the back post Do you know what I mean? Like if you put Maxi in that Man City team, he could do that job with the coaching, and that's what he's trying. Looks like he's trying to do with Grealish as well.
Yeah, 100%. He's trying to get Grealish in the same mould as he had Sané in and had Mahrez in as well. Absolutely. Maxi, he's probably got one goal coming in. He scored a header for his first goal. One, it was a header, Maxi, and then he scored the one at Brentford by steaming at the back stick to equalise over the 3-3.
His last goal was the equaliser at Watford. Well, no, sorry, when we took the lead at Watford at home. When then...
Yeah. Was that a Man U? Was that his last goal, Man U?
No. They were both... It might be Man United then, but still...
That was a good goal, Man United. But like the Watford, the Brentford goal when he steamed at the back post.
Yeah.
He's kind of player that wants the ball in the game in front of him all the time because he's got all the tricks. But yeah, you're right. A coach could drum him and get to the back stick. You'd get tap-ins and you'd get chances. But Sterling is the absolute perfect example of Pep taking a tricky winger, like you say, into just an absolute relentless beast to just get in there. Like he's moving for that goal is class. It's proper class.
With the whole Maxi debate, now I'm starting to swing back over and say, do we have? Can we afford a luxury player again?
Oh, it's Man City, man. You can't. It doesn't matter who you put out. I know I said 2-1 win.
You're going for the win out.
Wow, 6 pints in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, that goal typifies it. The pass from Rodri is absolutely pinpoint.
Yeah.
The header across from Cancelo. I mean, how many players would find Sterling perfectly on his bonds with that?
Yeah. Not bad for a fullback, is he?
he's outrageous, him. And then the offside goal for Newcastle again.
Yeah. But that was Bruno that was caught offside. But
should Wood not just score? Was it Wood? I think it is Wood.
There's a bit of a pinball.
Wood heads it into
Bruno
kind of on the line, but would not just score. Am I being harsh?
Potentially. Maybe the thing when I watched that goal, the thing I thought was like Man City were just so drilled. How quickly they got out. They just stepped out and their defence saved that goal because they created the offside trap somehow from even a corner.
I think Pep's just get out every time.
From everything. It's probably like Sunday League schoolboy football. Yeah. The second the ball gets kicked from the corner, it's like get out. Yeah. You don't even know if you need the man.
Shifted, get out. Yeah, so I mean it's outrageous. That was so well drilled. Just like elite footballers, aren't they? Mm-hmm. And then I remember being about 25 minutes in and thinking, "Oh, this is all City now." This we've had a little sort of 10 minutes in the sun. It's all City. And then I remember looking at 30 minutes in and thinking somehow this is more all City than it was before.
The second goal went in on the 38th minute, and at that point there I was like,
one-way traffic, wasn't it?
I even put a post on Twitter saying, look, 2-0 down, we've done all right. Like, we haven't been that bad for 2-0 down against City at home. It's just City of class, which again just shows you the level between. Like some Newcastle fans are saying, could we push for Champions League next year? Absolutely not. I can't. I hope I'm wrong, but I can't.
Europa League, Europa Conference. I think that's got to be a legitimate, quiet aim. But they'll just say
top half.
Yeah. Improving on this season, whatever. But
I don't think anyone's ever going to come off Newcastle and give a figure, because you just putting yourself up there with a target on your back, aren't they? We want to prove, we want to get better. That's all they're going to talk about.
We will on this channel. We'll put ourselves out there with a target on our back.
Yeah, we will. Come in and see, we're going to give you exactly where we need to be. The number of points, or it's going to be a failure.
But yeah, I think the Champions League thing is. Also, you have to remember, Arsenal will improve again, Spurs will improve again. Mm-hmm. Leicester probably won't be awful.
To be
West
fair,
Ham probably won't. Well, they probably will do the same thing, play really well, and somehow play awful enough to not.
As much as we give them shit at the start, Man United can't get any worse.
They literally can't. It's the worst season.
Worst season since 1974.
So they could get worse. That's what you're saying. There's hope for us yet.
I know there was some stuff still off there said 1974, but could be wrong. But I know it's definitely the worst season in the Premier League.
Chelsea might get worse though, which is fun.
Yeah, there we go. Let's hope for that.
And second goal, poor from Dubravka.
Yeah.
Gotta say, man. I mean, slow motion looks really bad. Normal speed doesn't look that bad. It's like, it's a bit of a tricky shot, but
you play in the Premier League.
It's going through bodies and that, but yeah, it's got to.
Does that bring back the question of we need a new keeper?
I don't think it's a massive priority, but I do because I think for what gets said, when you hear like Etihad and other players, sort of, he's part of the senior group and all that sort of stuff, and he's a leader in the group and that.
I seen him in Phoenix the other day, actually.
Did he? Was he leading the way? Was he part of the senior group there?
Well, he was with his kid, who was a newborn, so he was in the pram, so I'm guessing he was leading the way.
Well, I'll see.
Actually, no, the kid was in front because he was pushing the pram.
So it's easier just to follow. But no, I just think there are more pressing matters. It's one to get out on the we pull that though. Is the goalkeeping situation a big issue? The thing with Dubravka is, if you're saying to somebody he will obviously be off because he's only got a couple of years left. He's not going to sit on the bench, is he? Because he's in his 30s now. Like a couple of years, he's 33 or something now, is he?
I don't think quite that, but yeah, he's in his early 30s.
I think he's been a good keeper. He's a good shot stopper.
But we put a poll out on Twitter. Was it a week ago, 2 weeks ago? Which positions do we need to strengthen the most? And attacking was like 90% plus, and no one actually voted for goalkeeper. I know that was the most, but
I think it's because Wood clearly isn't scoring enough goals, and he clearly isn't quality enough. If you want to, Wood was bought from me when we were bottom of the league.
Yeah,
we're now no longer bottom of the league. We're a mid-table side now, by 1 point and everything else. So Wood isn't really a mid-table striker. So he needs improved on. Wilson, I think unanimously people love Wilson. I think he's really. I think if Wilson was fit all the time, I think he'd be second Harry Kane. I genuinely do. I think he's that good.
Yeah, I definitely think
he's just riddled, isn't he? I mean, he just won double drag back against Man United. Does himself for 4 months or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was out Christmas or what would be now.
That's 5 months.
Yeah, 4 or 5 months. You missed half the season.
Of one turn.
I know you can't. But then if you remember, he had a smaller injury in October or whatever. Because I remember I had him in my fantasy football team. I remember bringing him back out at the start because he got injured. And I'm not going to bring him back in case he get injured again. So that's 2 injuries this season.
Yeah, he's barely played, barely kicked the ball. So that's why I think that's why I think it's important to play or to put somebody else in the mix up top. And there are more pressing things I think than goalkeeper. But I'd be interested to see what other people think, whether they think goalkeeping.
Do you know Wilson's still actually our top goal scorer of the season?
No way.
6.
Wow.
I think he's 6, Maxi's 5, Bruno's got 4.
Bruno's already freaking third, man.
There's probably like Trippier with 2 or something like that, but
Shaw's got 1 or 2, hasn't he?
Well, it doesn't really matter. The fact that our leading goal scorer hasn't played for more than 15 games or whatever and got 6. So he's always had a good ratio, but it just shows that attack is essential in it. Got to put some funds in there.
Yeah, I know we're jumping ahead, but when he went through, I thought like goal here. That's how confident I am. I see, but Edison's a great keeper, so fast off his line, and obviously he's rusty.
Because it goes back to the game against, was it Brighton or Villa where he had a 1-on-1 and he missed it. And
yeah, he tried to bend the top bag and put it wide.
Yeah, Wilson's missed a 1-on-1 because I do, same as you.
I got a genuine shock when he missed that Villa one.
I do believe he is that good, and if he's, when you get strikers have a 1-on-1, or when Miggy went 1-on-1 with Alisson the other week, and he was offside anyway, and then nearly messed it up, but somehow scored. Now I'm like, he's probably not going to score this because it's Miggy. The certain Peters just don't expect to score 1-on-1. Wilson's one of them guys like, you'll score this. Yeah.
I said when Salah went through against Newcastle and Target sort of chased them down, I was like, wow, Salah didn't score. But anyway, we're sort of jumping ahead, aren't we? Rodri, the third goal.
Yeah.
Poor from Kraft, didn't it, really?
Bad defending. It's almost Kraft and Joe Linton like banged into each other a little bit, and I know they both try to blame each other. And
I think Kraft gets done on the run, which I don't think should happen. I think the run, you got to be tighter to him. Kraft gets done with what looks like to me a simple run across the front post, and Kraft gets done. And then Joe Linton, I think we grew up watching Shearer play that front post where he never got done. No one ever did him in the front. He just cleared anybody out and won the ball. I just think I think Joe Linton didn't see the danger.
Because Rodri's a big bloke as well. Like Joelinton's probably expecting the size of him, he's going to win most of them headers, but Roger, because he's got that momentum, just...
Yeah. But I think the bigger issue is Kraft's been class in the last few games, so I'm not going to dig him out for it, but I think the bigger issue is Kraft getting done on the run, really.
Yeah.
I think you've always going to be tight at the man.
So yeah, that was a defensive issue.
And then the Wilson chance came, which, like, it's a long ball. Wilson's hold-up play is so underrated, by the way. Like, people think he's got pacing behind, good finisher, good movement, but his hold-up play, he's tough because I don't know who he's up against, but it might be Laporte or somebody, backs into him, gets a little knockdown, spins 1-2. I mean, Chris Wood's not that kind of player, but there's no danger he's putting that kind of chance together. Like, it's just literally a Wilson's making.
Wilson's got he spent years having to be hold-up play because he's been the main man for Eddie Howe at Bournemouth, which played very similar to what we're doing right now. Not exactly the same, but he had a similar role to do. So Howe knows he can play that type of role. It's just a different physicality to Wood, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he offers obviously pace. He's quick. He offers running the channels more. He's a intelligent football player as well. It is quite sad, really. He'll probably look back in his career and just... He's obviously admitted and stuff, but it is quite sad because he's just been riddled, hasn't he? Yeah. He can never get more than 20 games a season out of him. He's not played 30 games for us in the season.
So I listened to his podcast that he does with Antonio for the first time. You have to go through the BBC website to get hold of it. Because I've tried a few times. Yeah. So I've got, when I've been travelling with work, I was on a train going to Glasgow the other day, and I'm like, I'm going to find out how to get this fucking podcast on. So for a company like the BBC, you think it'd make it easy to get all of the stuff. It was rock hard. So I found it off like a Facebook link of all. Anyway, finally got through to listen to it. And that's where I found out that Wilson was going to play, because he said I'm going to be on the bench for Sunday before the squad was announced. It was before Eddie Howe's press conference. And that's when I texted the groups.
You should have put that on Twitter, breaking news.
Breaking news. Just steal a soundbite and just scribble out BBC with like a... So yeah, Wilson said he was going to play, and him and Antonio had a bit back and forth. It's actually, they got decent banter on there. Not as good as ours, so don't worry. Stay there, subscribe, press the bell, leave a comment. And he said next season I'll score 20 goals.
I mean,
and
if he can play 25 games, he probably will.
The reason why I like that was because he was confident, because Antonio laughed at them two, literally hammer each other. He's like, I'll score 20 goals next season. And he said, I'm fit, I'm the best I've ever been, blah, 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 blah.
Wow, he's best I've ever been.
And he said, I'll score 20 goals next season. And I suppose as footballers, they've got to have confidence in themselves or they'll never get contracts.
Oh, he's absolutely... When Newcastle first signed him, and he was like, when he got obviously talking about the number 9 shirt and stuff, he's like... I think
the first season he had, was it 13 or something?
He had 39, but when they first signed him, he was asked about the number, and he says, I'm sure he said something like, Joe Linton's got it for now, and I was like, he already thinks I should wear that number 9 shirt. I think we said in the group chats, like, when we first signed him, he's the kind of arrogant guy. He's the kind of who you want to score. He's the arrogant. He's confident to the point where he is a bit arrogant, where like he knows he's a good player. But I think that's what you need. Absolutely do need it. Like,
it's like, when there's been a few times I've watched Liverpool, like, Salah's took another shot, I should have passed there. You need just main man. Like, no goal scorer is gonna be the top scorer without being a bit ball greedy. Do you know what I
mean? There was a goal that Etihad scored at Main Road, I think, that was put up on social media recently, like, because obviously we're playing Man City.
Yeah.
And it was a ball, and the comment was like, I think it was Amiobi maybe in the middle, and he said, Shearer has Amiobi in the middle, he doesn't use him, of course he doesn't. I'm like, of course. And it was like, no, right hand side in the box, you probably should have crossed, but he's just rifled it. That's what you got to have a bit of that, but... Yeah, I've always thought he's also got a bit of aggression where you think he'd pull a few players up round him, like you've got to up your game as well.
Yeah.
You get more from Maxi when Wilson plays, definitely.
Because Wilson had, the captain's armband a few times as well, so he's a part of the leadership team.
Yeah, well, he's probably, especially now, he's known Eddie Howe for a long time, and I think, he's a senior player as well now. He'll be he'll be turning 30, if not already. He'll be turning 30 soon.
Yeah, but he really loves Newcastle fans, like the way he spoke once, and the Geordies are all mad up here, they love the football, like it's brilliant. So
that actually the first strike with and play football, mate. 10 years, so we love you.
The last number 9 was half decent with CC, which, if we go back to our quiz, ended. When did CC finish again? Pardon for a second, mate.
I mean, that is
2016. After that, we had Dwight Gale, Rondon, Joe Linton.
Rondon was alright. Rondon, 3 amigos. That half season with the 3 amigos when we had Rondon, Perez, and Almiron. I thought we win the league this season after.
So we haven't had a proper goal scoring number 9 since the end of 2016. That's mental. For the famous anyway.
Well, we have Dwight Gale, but it's just in the wrong league.
Wrong league.
And then after that, fourth goal.
Trippier
comes on, gets. Yeah, he looks like he's getting up to speed, doesn't he?
Yeah, Grealish did him for pace, and then Grealish cuts into Zinchenko. Zinchenko the forward. That's 4-0, and then 10 seconds later, Grealish and
did we even kick off again?
I think we just
got the ball in there and just.
So when you were kids, you just throw the ball out 20 yards and
just boot it in the air.
Just threw it back to Grealish. Oh shit! I didn't mean to give you the ball.
And I tell you what, the fifth goal, Lascelles he doesn't know whether to stay or go. He just didn't do anything, and then he gets done by Grealish on the 1-2, and then Grealish and
it's so disappointing. Again, look, it's City. The Barham had 5 minutes. They should have been in the Champions League final, probably on track to win the Premier League. So they are a world class team still.
Yeah.
If we get beat 3-0, don't switch off. 3-0 versus 5-0 is a very different result, isn't it?
It is
And on paper, people's going to say City smashed us, which fair enough they did. Possession, all that. Kevin De Bruyne literally. He was like having a game of FIFA. He was just controlling the whole game.
He is. By the way, he is. I know I said it on the podcast the other week, but he is literally another level.
Did you see the conversation afterwards on Sky where they were comparing him to Yaya Toure? Who was it? There's Mika Richards on there. Was it Jamie Redknapp and Carragher?
Mm-hmm.
And there was the argument backwards and forwards who's a better player. Is it Kevin De Bruyne? Because I think it was Carragher said that he's the best midfielder in the world right now.
Yes,
and Mika Richards was saying Yaya Toure was slightly better, and it was a conversation who is the better midfielder between them two.
I think Yaya Toure was unplayable, wasn't he? When you watch Yaya Toure play, so it seemed to be that Mancini City side that Yaya would sit deep, and then as soon as City weren't winning, they just put another hold and bring was it maybe Gareth Barry or Milner or somebody on in the deep role or something, and I put Yaya up, and then it was sometimes Yaya. Do you know when you have those pictures where all the kids chasing around the one adult with the foot? That's what it was like sometimes. If you go back and watch those 2 or 3 seasons of Yaya Toure, it is outrageous. Some of the goals he scored are outrageous, but
we feel old midfielder scoring 20 goals a season.
He just put him up front again. He just runs right. There were some goals he scored outrageous, but I've always got love for De Bruyne. He's got a dad bod, and he's still the best player in the world. I love it. He's so good. When everyone's shredded, he's just repping the dad bods. I love that.
Yeah,
that's why he's my favourite outside. Obviously outside Bruno.
But anyway, let's bring it back to Newcastle. 1 point, which again we're playing City. Me personally, I think I said 2 or 3-0 we'll get beat by, and I think this shows where we need some investment in players, which we'll maybe take the conversation to next. Is we have Shelby's been injured, Willock's been injured. Yeah. After that, we didn't really have any backup. Hayden's was out for the season, so there's no other midfielders in the squad.
Yeah.
So we had our 3 only fit. We bear in mind one of them was a strike at the start of the season as well. And one of them we bought in, so Bruno. So imagine if Joe Linton's still playing centre forward.
Yeah, we wouldn't score any goals for a start.
We didn't sign Bruno. Our only recognised midfielders, Longstaff. We'd have to be getting his brother back from wherever he's playing at Mansfield. So it just shows you.
Are we trying to get Fabian Schär that deep line midfield role again?
Yeah, throwing the ball at themselves, just pass. But my point being is we're still really weak in midfield, and when Newcastle over the past couple of months have been able to have an impact the back half of the second half is when we've had that extra midfielder to bring on off the bench.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we really looked leggy.
Yeah. Yeah, Longstaff. He's like, his legs are a concern, aren't they? If you want to even have him as like a squad player, like.
Because he's asking the question about a new contract as well, and there's let us know what you think. Like Longstaff asking for a new contract, asking how I'm going to get guaranteed minutes. I don't see how he does. If you sign one or two more players,
Well, you've got any midfielders. That's probably how.
No. I was like, you start, mate, but yeah, if
you start only playing one in midfield, so good luck with that.
Yeah.
5-1-4.
Yeah, we've got two wingers on either side.
No, I think there's a broader question around the Longstaff, and it depends what investment's going.
Yeah.
What's going into the club. Clearly, midfield will be somewhere where we have been stronger throughout this sort of turnaround that Etihad's done. But in that turnaround, you're right, we've had Shelvey, Willock, Joelinton, Bruno, sort of rotating around three positions. And now two of them have dropped off. There really is no depth underneath that.
Yeah.
You potentially argue could Elliot Anderson come in as like it's disappointing that he can't play anything towards the end of the season. Because he maybe could be one of the eights, and that would give him a gap.
How's that? Can he not come back off loan?
Nah, if the loanees club where he's playing at finishes their season before the parent club's season finish, he still can't go back and play for them. Which is quite annoying because he's like he's 19, so he'd be an unregistered player, so he can play any amount of kids, can't you? Mm-hmm. And he said, "Do you see that? So you see, Bristol Rovers won 7. They needed a 7-goal swing, and he scored the 7th goal.
Class,
7 goals and 6 assists in 21 games.
See when the Bristol Rovers fans were all chanting the Geordie Maradona.
So I've been following pretty much his whole loan spell, and so I keep tagging my pal because he played for Scotland's under 21s.
Yeah.
So I keep tagging my pal on everything that comes up on Twitter, and again, but they're basically saying that he's the best player that I've seen play for the Gas. So. Mm-hmm. Which is mad if you think about it. Absolutely love them. They're like all thanking Newcastle for
yeah.
He has basically got, because he's scored the winners in loads of games. Mm-hmm. I mean that to get the 7th goal. I mean, write your name in folklore or what, man?
Can you imagine setting your team up to go and say, look, we need to win 7-0? Because Joey Barton's managing as well, so.
And he was like interviewed. He reshared an interview a few weeks back. I was like, I have no doubt we're going up. No doubt. And then he reshared that with like those eyes, like, don't you? We all love Joey Barton.
Yeah. But yeah.
But no, investment-wise, we are lacking still in midfield. Just squad in general, really.
So I've got a question for you. You know what about investment. So Newcastle, we spent 90 million in the transfer window, which the whole world's gone nuts about.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah. Dare us.
Yeah, other clubs can spend hundreds of million, but anyway. So Newcastle spent 90 million in January transfer window. The 5 players, Jan, how far do you think they can go with Newcastle? What positions can they take us to? So if you to say, right, this player can be a top 4 side, top 6, top 8, top 10. So Matty Target, where do you think he fits into? Where can he play?
It's a pretty good top 8 player.
Top 8?
Yeah, I think so. I might Target.
Okay. What Wood?
Next. Wood, I think Wood is these races run. We are already above the level Wood plays at.
Do you think Wood's
obsolete?
So he's just putting the cones out next season.
When we weren't getting relegated, he was already.
Okay.
Nah, he's put the cones out next season too much. But no, I think in all honesty, if you're going to kick on and have any aspirations of finishing anywhere higher than we currently are, you won't do it with Chris Wood.
Yeah.
I know I said Mark Wood a lot. Maybe bring Mark Wood in.
Yeah, because if Newcastle go and sign another striker, Wilson's backup, probably Wood's going to be 3rd choice striker, isn't he?
Yeah.
Bruno.
Oh, Champions League, mate.
Yeah.
All the way to the top.
So Newcastle
I
win.
don't know. I really think he. I mean, if he's was 24.
Yeah.
He's still got improvement. He's still not even really. Even how he takes the ball in tight games like Man City, he takes it under pressure. He's totally. He'll take an extra touch like that he needs to, but yeah.
So what are you saying?
I think he'll be in a
Win the Premier League?
He'll be in a top. He'll be in a Champions League side.
Top 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to win it. I mean, if you got to win the league in 6 years before he turns 30, if he's at the club, that's still hard. That.
Mm-hmm.
You have to remember, like there are other clubs like Man City and Liverpool, and
Yeah. Okay.
so.
What about
Big Dan Burn?
Big Dan Burn?
Top 8, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, a slight improvement where we are. Yeah.
Okay. Trippier.
Like Dan Burn's not going to play. It's not going to be a regular starter for a team that's fighting for the top 6.
Mm-hmm.
Fighting for the top 6, you've got to beat the teams that are like the Wolves and the West Hams and stuff. Like, I like Dan Burn. He's a good player. He's definitely an improvement. He's definitely done brilliantly for this season. 2 seasons time, you're going to want Dan Burn still centre half. It's harsh, isn't it, because he's from Blythe and that, innit?
I know you might be able to hear. Might be wanting his dog. Keep your voice down.
He's walking pretty far. So yeah, I'm giving you a transactional view rather than an emotional one. Trippier, Trippier age might do. Trippier, he's already 31. But he's Champions League player, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I agree with pretty much everything that you said there, mate. I think Target and Burn, now we've played Liverpool and City, they're starting to get found out. Look, everyone was on the Big Dan Burn. We love Matty Target. He's hasn't put a foot wrong. And for where
he's still been solid, by the way, Matt Target. Like,
yeah, for where we are, they've been great and an improvement. And I think they can see us to the top half of the table, top 10, top 8 at a push. Wood, I agree. He came in, he's done a job. People say he's not worth 25 million. He was worth 25 million because he's valued at what you were willing to spend, and for us to spend 25 million to take away a main striker from Burnley and to give us that man who can hold the ball up, he was worth 25 million at the time. So let us know what you think about that if you agree. Bruno, I also agree with that. He could be a top 4 centre midfielder, easy.
If you took Bruno out now and you replaced him with Naby Keita, he wouldn't have got a place on the Liverpool side. But if you also put him in that Man City side who plays the different style of football where it's not all hustle and bustle, it's more keeping the ball, he'd sit alongside Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne.
Yeah, I think he'd fit better into what Liverpool do than Man City right now.
I think he fits. I think he can be, but he can do either or. I think he's technically so gifted. Like,
yeah, and then Trippier, yeah, I think we'll see. Trippier will see us get to top 8 just through the progression and time that he's got left, because he's 31, so he's got 2 seasons left.
We forget though, like 31 isn't what it was. Sometimes you and I grew up the same sort of era, albeit you a little bit earlier than me watching football, but we still think 31 is like that's the end of his career. Don't give him another contract. But in actual fact, like Mo Salah's turning 31. Like,
yeah,
31. I think it's shifted from like thinking that the 27 to 30 was like people's peak years.
Yeah.
It's like 27 to 32 are now people's peak years. Like, these guys don't drink much. They don't get massive in the close season and come back lean again.
But then did you see Grealish doing Trippier? Was that not kind of indication? Like, wow.
No, I don't think so. Like, at 31, you've still got to take time to come back from injury. Like, you don't recover like you used to. But no, I don't think so. And he's never been blessed with amazing pace. Trippier, really, he's just had amazing. He's like someone like Philip Lahm, who's really good at reading
games, positional player.
Yeah,
it's like when sorry to interrupt there, Jan, but yeah, you've kind of, I'm going to back your point up, yes, don't we? When Trippier had them 4 or 5 games for us, his ability to head the ball from a short fella, And that was because of his positional playing. He could read the flight of the ball.
And also, the point I was going to back up there was, I want to back up you backing up me now.
This point's definitely right, okay?
It's the little nudge he gives, though. He gives a little nudge at the perfect time to win balls. Mm-hmm. So he uses his body really well. So yeah, I've no huge... Yeah, I've no worries that he's lost a yard or anything. I just think it's going to take time.
Okay.
And I think the third... go back to Elliot Anderson. Do you know he's teetotal? He's 19-year-old and he's teetotal to focus on being a football player. I mean, that's what elongates you from being like a guy that finishes his career at like 28 to being someone who plays until the end.
Do you
know what I mean?
It is completely different to the times gone by. But before we jump into this next story, which we'll mention that. So if you're, whichever channel you're watching us on, be it YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, let us know in the comments below. Target, Wood, Bruno, Burn, Trippier. What position in the league do you think they could help us get to? You mentioned Elliot being teetotal there. I remember listening to a story with Ray Parler where he got told he wasn't playing.
Yes, there it is.
He got told he wasn't playing, so he went down to the bar in Highbury back then, had 4 pints, and someone pulled a hamstring. I can't remember who was pulled a hamstring in the warm up. So it would have been Wenger or George Graham, whoever it was, right. Come down and said, "You're playing because somebody's done a hammy in. And what position you played?" And they didn't have on the bench because that's back in the day when you had a few subs. So he actually went in and played in the Premier League after drinking 4 pints.
Leggy.
Yeah.
What's up with Ray? Oh, class. I mean, that was, different. I mean, there's worse stories about Tony Adams and stuff. That he had struggles with, like, actually being alcoholic, but many times he talks about it. I think he interviewed with Paul Merson. He literally openly talks about playing multiple times on the beer. Yeah. Cut the straight as before a game. I mean, no wonder Peter's careers were shorter then, but versus now, like. But so yeah, going back to the point, Trippier obviously he ages against them, but he's still definitely got 2 solid, maybe even 3 really good seasons in him. So
looking ahead to next Monday, mate. So we'll be recording on Tuesday next week to make sure we get the game in.
Yeah.
We've got Arsenal coming to St James's Park for the last home game of the season. Arsenal got it all to play for because they should be pushing for Champions League position. They've got Tottenham Thursday, so a couple of days' time as we record this, 3 days' time, and then they've got all to go for.
Are you more concerned now after those last couple of goals, knowing there's no Willock, knowing there's no Shelby?
I think midfield it's going to look like regardless. So yeah, towards the back end, it's almost going to be shut up shop, get the game won, hopefully beforehand. Or does he try and change formation? But you can't really change your formation because that's putting 4 in the middle. We don't have literally another midfielder to put in there, unless he plays 2 up top potentially.
Well, it was like 4-4-2.
Yeah, because then he's obviously got Murphy, Miggy.
Look, my big man, getting Wilson off. I mean, he's not going to start Wilson.
No, Wilson hasn't got 90 minutes at all.
No.
So no, rule out he's definitely going to play 2 up top. So yeah, I'm a little bit worried if we're going to beat Arsenal, we've got to do it at the start.
I think I would pretty much play the same side, except I bring Shah back in for the cells if Shah's fit.
Yeah.
And then I would... Trippier might have a start in him. But if there's any risk in it, I just don't see the point. So, but his was a broken bone, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was metatarsal. Huh?
Yeah, so he's just a fitness thing. You don't re-break after that. If you can run around, you can run around there. You're not going to re-break something. So if he's physio said his bone is fit enough to play football and go into tackles, then it's just about has he got 90 minutes of fitness in him. Whereas Wilson's obviously about 18 muscle injuries over one turn, so he'll obviously be really eased in. So Trippier might have a start in him, but I would go Murphy or Mickey.
Yeah, my team wrote down here: Trippier, Lascelles. Depending on they'll then be based on is Shah fit enough, because we don't really know too much about the Shah injury. So hopefully he can come in over Lascelles. Trippier, if it's a bone and it's just getting some fitness back, why not go and give him 60-70 minutes and bring Kraft on. Burn target, midfield picks itself. ASM, Wood, and then Murphy.
You go Murphy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Murphy offers you more going forward. And we're at home. Last home game of the season. Try and go out with a win. Be nice to ruin that party for no reason of anything against Arsenal, just because it's nice to do that against other football teams, isn't it?
And you'd also pick your own team to win.
yeah, and also I like seeing Newcastle win games in football. But yeah, I think that it's the midfield that worries, doesn't it? Longstaff.
That's it. The midfield that worries me. Arsenal's got young players to bring off in that 3 players that they have where Tyron, they could bring players on there. I'm hoping we can maybe get a draw. I've got a feeling Arsenal could end up nicking it like 2-1, something like that.
Well, I've said on the other pod many times that Arsenal have the knack of beating teams that they're better than, which makes sense, but a lot of teams don't have that knack.
Yeah.
But they seem to, if they go against anybody who's a better side than them, they get pumped usually. But against teams that they're generally above in the league, they tend to get decent in. So
go on, mate. Commit what you're saying.
2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle.
Yeah, 2-1 Newcastle. If I don't know what I always go 2-1 Newcastle. Now I don't know. I'm a little bit more concerned. The last 2 goals were a little bit concerning, I guess.
Yeah.
Newcastle, and they are up for it. But I said it before. Newcastle got plenty to play for if you want to be part of this journey for the next couple of years and have a bit of a run. Then yeah, you got to play your way into that side. So, and Trippier and Wilson a massive lift. Even Wilson being like 45 minutes out of Wilson, it's like massive in it. So, 2-1 Newcastle.
Okay.
ASM.
Finally.
Yeah, finally ASM. He's going to come.
Both of them.
All 3 of them.
Well, there you have it.
What were you saying?
I've said 2-1 Arsenal.
Did you?
I'm hoping 1-1.
Turncoat, man.
Definitely not turncoat. I genuinely, wholeheartedly hope I'm wrong, and I hope you're right.
Yeah, it's going to be tough though.
But yeah.
They're fired up.
1-1.
Could depend on what they do. If they get battered off Spurs,
And they'll still have to play for, won't they? So.
Yeah. Or if they batter Spurs.
If they batter Spurs, then yeah. Then
on the beach.
Yeah. Either way.
2-1.
2-1.
Someone's winning 2-1.
Someone's winning 2-1. You heard it here first. Thank you for downloading. If you're on Spotify, please leave us a lovely review. If you're on YouTube, drop us a comment. If you're on TikTok, let us know how long you think all these players can be with us for. Whatever channel, whatever you're watching us on, listeners to, please make sure you subscribe, share, and thank you as ever for anyone who's been involved in the channel. And we'll catch you next Tuesday. And let's see how we go against Arsenal, mate.
2-1.
2-1.